the effects that Eurorack has had is that the definition of modularity has become very specifically having the ability to move modules around and take modules in and out of a case, which I understand, especially in regard to Eurorack. However, the concept of modularity as it originally occurred in regard to synthesis wasn't about individual modules as much as it was about being able to route the different functions in different configurations. Each function, instead of being part of a system, was an individual module, and you created the system out of connecting those modules, whether those modules were actual physical modules or that functionality was independent from all of the other functionality inside of the device. That's what true modularity is. So when we talk about something being modular, a lot of people want to talk about things being semi-modular, which is a term that originally came up to describe synthesizers that didn't have full modularity like original modular synthesizers did, but had some modular function. Anyway, now it means something different, which I think is ridiculous. But anyway, the point of the matter is, never in history has there been an analog polyphonic modular synthesizer in the multiphonic structure. Someone out there's like, Mark, what about the Korg PS? The PS series definitely was modular to a degree. It was actually what I would have called semi-modular, but it wasn't multiphonic, which is to say it had a divide down structure. Anyway, these incredibly minute distinctions annoy the hell out of everybody, and I'm sorry for that. But basically what I'm really saying is that the Arturia PolyBrute is a traditional analog polysynth with this modular function in the form of the matrix. It allows you to route modulation in incredibly complex ways, astoundingly complex. All of the great polyphonic synthesizers of the past had, in comparison, the most tiny, pathetic modulation functionality. Once you add modularity to an analog polysynth, it's terrifying what you are capable of achieving. And that can't be overlooked in regard to the PolyBrute. And also, not only its integration with just traditional functions, but all of the traditional functions found on the PolyBrute are more complex than in traditional synthesizers. And then there are all these control functions, which are plentiful in ways that they never were in original synthesizers. The modularity of the Arturia PolyBrute just goes above and beyond perception. It's astounding. You've been watching me doing all these patches, and I keep going to the mod section and making modulation connections. This is really having a polyphonic analog synthesizer that is also modular. And don't forget, this is modularity, being able to connect various modulation sources to modulation destinations. That is modularity, and this has it, which is astounding. There has never been a vintage analog polyphonic that had this level of modularity other than the Korg PS series, but that was nothing like this. That was a whole different type of thing. So you have the ability to do infinite amounts of things. You can use this as the most traditional, boring, sawtooth, polysynth, or you can make sounds that are just incredibly powerful and have all kinds of modulation, destinations, and routing. It is infinite in that respect.